Welcome to the 1998 Cox Communications Academic Challenge in partnership with the Escambia County School District and WSRE-TV. I'm Bill Willis, the moderator for tonight's match. Our judges this evening are Ms. Paulette Walker from the Marketing Division of Cox Communications and from the Finance Division, Mr. Pete Clark. Also, Ms. Laura Colo, the K-12 Reading Specialist for the Escambia County School District. Our scorekeeper is Cindy Nixon, the Educational Coordinator for Cox Communications. And our timekeeper is Ms. Linda Thompson, who is the Language Arts Specialist for the Escambia County School District. Our first match this year pits Milton High School against Woodham High School. And now we'll have the players from Milton High School introduce themselves.
Tim White. Joe Cottle.
Adam Cottle. William Drury.
And the coach for Milton High School is Ms. Janice Watts. And now we'll have the players from Woodham High School introduce themselves.
Johnny Hutchinson.
Tyler Dorset. Reese Zimba. Jeffrey Rogers.
And the coach for Woodham High School is Ms. Kathy Bain. We'll be right back after these messages to get tonight's match underway.
Okay, ready for our field trip?
If it's cable in the classroom, it's gonna be awesome. It's like 37 different cable networks with all these cool shows to use in class. There are no commercials, and it makes learning a total adventure.
Cable in the Classroom is a free service of the cable television industry, and now there's a way for you to help your neighborhood school. Volunteer to record selected programs for teachers to use in class.
Okay, now what do we learn here today?
Cable in the Classroom comes home with Cox Communications.
Some people just watch TV, and others learn something new every time they tune in. Join me every month on Education Showcase for a preview of the best educational programs on cable. From family viewing to Cable in the Classroom to feature stories for parents, teachers, and students, you'll find out how to make learning fun and relevant to today's world. So don't just turn on the television, turn on to learning with Education Showcase, a monthly guide to cable's best educational programs.
This is Good News Pensacola, the people, resources, and partnerships that contribute to education in our community. Sponsored by Cox Communications. Good News Pensacola Education, LNE Channel 24, Sundays at 8 p.m., Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
Welcome back. Good luck to both teams, and here is our first toss-up question of the match. Identify the historical personage referred to as he in the following quote. And having rendered thanks to the Lord, kneeling on the ground, embracing it with tears of joy for the immeasurable mercy of having reached it, he rose and gave this island the name of San Salvador. Milton, Adam.
Christopher Columbus.
That is correct. And Milton, your first bonus is an art bonus, and if you'll direct your attention to the monitor. Here's your first question. What is the title of the painting which you have been shown? The answer is Persistence of Memory. And here's the second question. Name the Spanish artist who created that painting.
Dolly.
That is correct for 10 points. Toss-up question. When it is in standard position, in which quadrant does the terminal side of the angle negative pi over 12 lie? Milton, Adam.
Quadrant 2.
That's incorrect. Woodham, Tyler.
4.
That is correct. And Woodham, here is your bonus. Number 1, in 1763, the Ottawa Indians, under the leadership of what individual, sacked 8 British forts near the Great Lakes and besieged 2 others at Pittsburgh and Detroit?
Pontiac.
That is correct. Number 2, Alexander Graham Bell, using a type of metal detecting device, was called in to try to save the life of which American president who died more than 2 months after being wounded by his assassin?
Garfield.
That is also correct. You've answered both correctly for 20 points. Toss-up question. The Ancient of Days is a metal relief. Woodham, Johnny.
William Blake.
That is correct. And here is your bonus. Number 1. A football team scored 35 points in a game. If the team scored 14 points in the first half, the fractional part of the total scored in the second half was what?
2/5.
Incorrect. It's 3/5. And here is your second question. If f of x equals 2x minus 5, find f of negative 3.
Negative 11.
That is correct for 10 points. Toss-up question. About 75% of the cases of this disease are associated with an abnormality in chromosome 7. The disease causes frequent lung infections and... Woodham, Johnny.
Cystic fibrosis.
That is correct. And here is your bonus. Number 1. Théodore Géricault, in what masterwork, painted a group of shipwrecked survivors off the coast of West Africa?
Raft of the Medusa.
That is correct. And number 2, The Sleep of Reason Produces Monsters is an etching and aqua tint by what Spanish artist?
Goya.
That is also correct for 20 points. Toss-up question. Name the prime minister who, in 1997, ordered Mossad agents to assassinate Khalid Mashad, a Hamas leader. Woodham, Reese.
Yasser Arafat.
Incorrect. Milton, Tim.
Netanyahu.
That is correct. And here is your team's bonus. Number 1, the mitral valve is another term for the valve that separates the left atrium from the left ventricle. Name this two-part valve. The answer is bicuspid valve. Number 2, what English surgeon developed antisepsis, the process of killing disease-causing germs? And that one is Joseph Lister. You picked up no points on this bonus set. Toss-up question. What country forms the northern border of Finland? Woodham, Tyler.
Norway.
That is correct. And here is your team's bonus. Number 1, name the 53-year-old singer-songwriter who was killed when his fiberglass experimental plane crashed in Monterey Bay, California in October 1997.
John Denver.
That is correct. Number 2, name the nonagenarian author whose decision to take himself off dialysis led to his death in Austin, Texas in October 1997. The correct answer for that is James Missioner. You've answered one correctly for 10 points. Toss-up question. Which Shakespearean character rightly fears that her father wishes to dispose of her so that he may auction off Bianca to the wealthiest? Woodham, Tyler. I'll repeat. Which Shakespearean character rightly fears that her father wishes to dispose of her so that he may auction off Bianca to the wealthiest competitor? The answer is Katerina or Kate from The Taming of the Shrew. Toss-up question. What was the last musical Richard Rodgers and Oscar Hammerstein II created, a musical which debuted on Broadway in 1959? Woodham, Johnny.
The King and I.
Incorrect. Milton, William.
Oklahoma.
Incorrect. It was The Sound of Music. Toss-up question. Who was the ancient Egyptian sky god with the head of a hawk? Milton, Adam.
Ra.
Incorrect. Woodham, Tyler.
Horus.
Horus is correct. And here is your bonus set. In what sea, a branch of the Mediterranean Sea, would you find these islands? Lemnos, Milos, Eos, Naxos, and Mykonos.
Aegean.
That is correct. Number 2, what is the capital of the African country of Mali?
Bamako.
Incorrect, it's Bamako. You've answered one correctly for 10 points. Toss-up question. The Super Bowl held on January 25th, 1998 was what number Super Bowl? Woodham, Reese?
32.
That is correct. And here is your bonus. Number 1, in The Merchant of Venice, what is the name of the daughter of Shylock? The answer is Jessica. Number 2, which Shakespearean heroine says, "My bounty is as boundless as the sea, my love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have, for both are infinite"?
Juliet.
That is correct. You've answered one correctly for 10 points. Toss-up question. Lemon versus Kurtzman, 1971. Roth versus the United States, 1957. And Schenck versus the United States, 1919, are all cases which relate to which amendment in the Bill of Rights? Milton, Joe.
First.
That is correct. And here is your team's bonus. Number 1, initially ragtime was music written for and performed on what musical instrument?
Piano.
That is correct. And number 2, a shakuhachi is a type of flute from what country?
Japan.
That is also correct. You've earned 20 points on this bonus set. Toss-up question. You are an astronomer working on a star map. The parallax angle of star A is 1.034 degrees. For star B, it's 1.103 degrees. And for star C, it's 1.013. Using the letters, give the order of the stars with increasing distance from the Earth. Woodham, Tyler.
CAB.
Incorrect. The correct answer is BCA. Toss-up question. What 1964 movie is set in Edwardian London and deals with a magical nanny who teaches to Woodham, Tyler?
Mary Poppins.
That is correct. And here is your team's bonus. Number 1, Zeus had Prometheus chained to a rock in the Caucasus Mountains, where every day a ravenous eagle would tear open his belly and devour what internal organ?
Liver.
That is correct. And number 2, according to Greek mythology, what mortal was responsible for all the evils and pestilence that contaminate the world, including painful death, suffering, disease, plagues, jealousy, hatred, envy, and crime?
Pandora.
That is also correct. Well, we'll be right back after these messages to confirm the halftime score. Please stay tuned.
Some people just watch TV, and others learn something new every time they tune in. Join me every month on Education Showcase for a preview of the best educational programs on cable. From family viewing to cable in the classroom to feature stories for parents, teachers, and students, you'll find out how to make learning fun and relevant to today's world. So don't just turn on the television, turn on to learning with Education Showcase, a monthly guide to cable's best educational programs.
This is Good News Pensacola, the people, resources, and partnerships that contribute to education in our community. Sponsored by Cox Communications. Good News Pensacola Education, LNE Channel 24, Sundays at 8 p.m., Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
Okay, ready for our field trip?
If it's cable in the classroom, it's gonna be awesome. It's like 37 37 different cable networks with all these cool shows to use in class. There are no commercials, and it makes learning a total adventure.
Cable in the Classroom is a free service of the cable television industry. And now there's a way for you to help your neighborhood school. Volunteer to record selected programs for teachers to use in class.
Okay, now what do we learn here today?
Cable in the Classroom comes home with Cox Communications.
Welcome back. The score is official at the half. Woodham 170, Milton 60. Both teams have made substitutions, and now we'll have the Milton player introduce himself.
Zach Barnett.
Welcome, Zach. And now from Woodham High School,
Charles Allen.
welcome, Charles. Well, let's get the match underway again. Toss-up question. Who was the ruling Russian Tsar at the same time that the Jesuit order was founded and at the same time that Henry VIII married Anne of Cleves? Woodham, Johnny.
Catherine the Great.
Incorrect. And the answer is Ivan IV, better known as Ivan the Terrible. Toss-up. From which acid is the salt barium nitrate obtained? Woodham, Johnny.
Boric acid.
Incorrect. And the answer is nitric acid. Toss-up question. Which British poet penned the lines, Milton, thou shouldst... Woodham, Tyler.
Shelley.
Incorrect. I'll repeat. Which British poet penned the lines, Milton, thou shouldst be living at this hour, England hath need of thee? Milton, Joe.
Blake.
Incorrect. It's William Wordsworth. Toss-up question. With what country did the United States negotiate the Gadsden Purchase? Woodham, Tyler.
Mexico.
That is correct. And our first bonus of the half is a audio, and it will be music. We'll give you a chance to listen to the excerpt first. All right, here is our question. What is the title of the work of music from which you heard this excerpt?
Also sprach Zarathustra.
That is correct. And number 2, name the composer of that work.
Richard Strauss.
You've answered both correctly for 20 points. Toss-up question. What is the term for an organic compound formed when an alcohol reacts with an acid? The answer is an ester. Toss-up. What country is the setting for John Hersey's A Bell for Adano? Woodham, Tyler.
Spain.
Incorrect. The answer is Italy. Toss-up question. What name is given to the biological class made up of cartilaginous fishes? Woodham, Tyler.
Osteochondrites.
Incorrect. The answer is chondrichthyes. Toss-up question. What is the poetic term for the process of determining the meter or rhythm of a poem? Woodham, Jeff.
Iambic pentameter.
Incorrect. The answer is scansion. The executions of the 3rd of May, Woodham, Johnny.
Goya.
Incorrect. I'll repeat. The executions of the 3rd of May, 1808, commemorates the slaughter by the French of the citizens of what Iberian city? The answer is Madrid. Toss-up question. Name the two men who had the lead roles in the 1997 blockbuster movie Men in Black. Woodham, Jeff.
Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith.
That is correct. And here is your team's bonus. The secretary of which cabinet department is last in line to succeed to the presidency should the succession go to the cabinet?
Veterans Affairs?
That is correct. And which constitutional amendment entitles a criminal defendant to trial by an impartial jury?
Sixth?
That is also correct for 20 points. Toss-up question. Who, in 150 BCE, is credited with the compilation of the first star catalog? Woodham, Tyler.
Ptolemy?
Incorrect. The answer is Hipparchus of Rhodes. Toss-up question. What element derives its chemical symbol from the Latin name argentum? Woodham, Tyler.
Gold?
Incorrect. The answer is silver. Toss-up question. In tonal music, if a tonic chord has a root of F, what is the root of the corresponding subdominant chord? Woodham, Johnny.
B flat.
That is correct. And here is your team's bonus. Number 1, which astronomer is credited with discovering Phobos and Deimos, the satellites of Mars?
Asaph Hall?
Correct. And number 2, Pluto was discovered in 1930 by what astronomer at the Lowell Observatory?
Clyde Tombaugh?
That is also correct for 20 points. Toss-up question. What famed American attorney of the 20th century was nicknamed the Defender of the Damned? Woodham, Jeff.
Kunstler.
Incorrect. Milton, Joe.
Darrow.
That is correct. And here is your team's bonus. Number 1. What 1955 cult film is about a prehistoric monster awakened by H-bomb test and who menaces Tokyo?
Godzilla.
That is correct. What 1949 movie paired Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn as husband and wife lawyers who are on opposite sides of an attempted murder case? And the correct answer to that is Adam's Rib. You've answered one correctly for 10 points. Toss-up question. What Spanish explorer is considered the first European to discover the Pacific Ocean? Woodham, Tyler.
Balboa?
That is correct. And here is your team's bonus. Number 1. Which Russian Tsar who ruled from 1672 to 1725 emphasized the development of a Russian navy and desired a window to the west and a warm water port?
Peter the Great?
Correct. Number 2. Which Russian prime minister was assassinated on September 14th, 1911 at the Opera House in Kiev? Pyotr Stolypin. You've answered one correctly for 10 points. Toss-up question. Name the fast and furious French dance usually performed. Milton, Joe.
Can.
That is correct. And here is your team's bonus. Number 1. Which halogen is a dark red liquid at room temperature?
Bromine.
Correct. And number 2, what kind of drop experiment did Robert Millikan design to provide data needed to calculate the mass of the electron? The answer to that is an oil drop experiment. You've answered one correctly for 10 points. Toss-up question. In Greek mythology, who was the messenger of the gods? Woodham, Johnny.
Hermes.
That is correct. And here is your team's bonus. Number 1, which poet penned the lines, "When I have fears that I may cease to be, before my pen has gleaned my teeming brain"?
John Keats?
Correct. Number 2, which American expatriate poet wrote both The Garden and The River Merchant's Wife a Letter?
Masters.
Incorrect, it was Ezra Pound. You've answered one correctly for 10 points. Toss-up question. What name is usually given to Franz Joseph Haydn's Symphony No. 101 in Woodham? Johnny?
The Clock.
That is correct, and here is your team's bonus. Number 1, it is French for lullaby. Name this term often used for an instrumental piece that suggests the smooth, regular rhythm of a rocking cradle. The answer is berceuse. Number 2, it is a two-word term from Italian which literally means beautiful singing. What is this term for a style of singing that emphasizes beautiful tone and brilliant technique?
Canto cantabile.
Incorrect, it's bel canto. You picked up no points on the bonus. We'll be right back after these messages with the final score.
This is Good News Pensacola, the people, resources, and partnerships that contribute to education in our community. Sponsored by Cox Communications. Good News Pensacola Education, LNE Channel 24, Sundays at 8 p.m., Mondays and Wednesdays at 7 p.m.
Okay, ready for our field trip?
If it's cable in the classroom, it's gonna be awesome. It's like 37 different cable networks with all these cool shows to use in class. There are no commercials, and it makes learning a total adventure.
Cable in the Classroom is a free service of the cable television industry, and now there's a way for you to help your neighborhood school. Volunteer to record selected programs for teachers to use in class.
Okay, now what do we learn here today?
Cable in the Classroom comes home with Cox Communications.
Welcome back. The score is official. Woodham has a score of 310, Milton 100. Congratulations to Woodham. We look forward to seeing both teams back in the future. Please stay tuned. Our next match will feature Escambia High School and Northview High School. Good evening.